Read a smile behind my mask. How long will it last? Stimulus going fast. Government won't act. How long will this be going on? Aloha, this is Skye, your Soulful Progressive with FNN, Feminist News Network, that feminist news that's right for you. Welcome to Skye on location in Honolulu, Hawaii, giving you that soulful news you need, yes indeed. And if you haven't told a friend to like and subscribe and get that soulful news that soulful way, you better let them know they can get it today. I know that's right. Click that link below and see more videos. I've been around for 3 years, so just go to videos and go through them. Yeah. Now, what is it I want to talk to you about today? What is going on with Honolulu local news? Well, even the world wants to hear about it because economist Paul Brewbaker had to set Catherine Cruz straight of the conversation on HPR with what? With saying you cannot pick the kind of tourists you want. Now, I'm going to try to narrow it down as short as I can so you can hear what he's saying, man. Now, I want you to hear some of this, and then we're going to discuss. Because we got to get real. You can't pick who you want here, and that's the deal. Now, let's take a listen.
Disruption. That is what we've been living with for the past year since the pandemic triggered a shutdown of our economy. So, how do we move through this recovery phase? Are our goals to make us less reliant on tourism unrealistic? Economist Paul Brewbaker doesn't hold back on his thoughts about what we've failed to do, not just through this pandemic, but long before this health and economic crisis. Once we hit the $1 million mark for homes here on Oahu, will we see even more people leave our shores? We pick up our conversation where we left off, talking about tourism. What do you think is going to happen with tourism? You know, there's a lot of talk about, a vaccine passport, but some places are going thumbs down on a passport, people in Texas and maybe Florida. So does that mean they don't come here? I mean,
Yeah.
what's your take on that?
Yeah, they can all stay at home. People from Texas and Florida, I mean, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm sorry, when I was a kid and I traveled the world with my family, and I'm talking about the 1950s and 1960s, I distinctly remember that we traveled with a passport and our yellow World Health Organization vaccination document, and we presented both upon arrival. People obviously have forgotten what it's like to live in a world where infectious disease takes one of every 7 children in a family. That's how life was 100 years ago. It's the first stage of grief. They're in denial that they actually live in that world where 600, 700,000 Americans will be dead by the end of this summer because of a novel coronavirus, at the very moment that they're running around saying, see, I didn't get it. It wasn't that bad. So, yeah, they can all stay at home. Y'all can stay in Florida.
Okay. On another note, walking through Waikiki and seeing the tourist rebound, but is it the kind of tourist that we want? I don't know. I mean, we don't see enough of the visitors from Japan yet. I don't know what's happening with duty free, the Galleria over there. There's still a lot of shops that are pretty empty because they don't have customers.
Honestly, I'm going to have to just pass on any question that contains the phrase, are they the tourists we want? I remember this distinctly after Hurricane Iniki. But the point of debate 25 years ago was that, sorry, Auntie, we kind of don't get a choice. The choice is between timeshare and nothing. It's not a choice between timeshare and hotel. Right now we're kind of in the same situation because right now the choice is between wackadoodles from the Dakotas and Texas and Florida that don't wear masks and zero, because people from Japan won't come to America because America is too stupid to be a place anybody would want to travel to right now. It's not that we won't let them come here. They don't want to come here because America is where the dumb people live.
Well, I
right?
guess so. You're saying we shouldn't be picky. It's either tourists or no tourists, right? Be grateful for what we have.
It's either mainland guys or nothing, because people from places like East Asia, where they actually contain the novel coronavirus and behave in a manner that is designed to preempt other people from being affected, why would they go to a country, the United States of America, where people don't give a crap about whether other people get sick? All they care about is whether they're going to get sick.
Well, we've just
So,
been hearing for some time now about resetting the tourist industry and
but
trying
my point
to.
is, it's not like an engineer. You don't get to twist the dials around and choose who comes here. We've been hearing for 30 years that all we need is higher spending visitors. How's that going, bro? Right? More visitors, not more dollars. Was that the outcome? That is the outcome, but that's not the one people intended. They thought we were going to engineer the opposite, more dollars, not more visitors. Right now, it's not realistic to presume that we get to decide who's going to come here. And thank you very much. We don't want you people here because you're from the wrong place, or you don't spend enough money, or you don't stay in the kind of lodging that we prefer that you would stay in. We just went through 6 months with essentially no tourists, and it blasted 60, 70, 80, 100,000 people out of work, some of them still to this day. And we're having an argument about who would we prefer to come back to Hawaii. Like, we should be so lucky to get anybody. Big part of the reason that America's reputation is so trash. This is a place where you go to die from COVID. In the advanced economies, America is the place you go to die. So if you think that just opening international travel is going to induce a lot of foreigners to come here, I don't think you're seeing it in the right perspective right now.
So, what do we need to do to boost our economy? I mean, there's a lot of talk about technology, broadband.
Yeah, I mean, nothing prevented anybody from doing that before COVID. Nothing prevented anybody from doing that during COVID, and nothing prevents anybody from doing that now. So this whole argument that, it's not even an argument. It's kind of like bogus, that if we don't do tourism, we can do something else. It's just kind of ridiculous because we can do everything else and tourism. We just went through a year where we didn't have tourism and we got hammered. So, yeah, I agree with you. We should do all of the above. That's the answer.
Did you hear that? I know you did. He said a straight right to her face. And it needed to be said that you could not pick the kind of tourist you want. You know, the reason, and he's correct about it, the reason why the Japanese, the Chinese, the Korean tourists aren't coming back isn't, you can try to blame it on their quarantine rules. But yeah, they don't want to be around these Americans, not the American tourists that are coming over here. And the type of tourists that the Hawaii Tourism Authority needs to be paying attention to, they're not. And that are the ADOS tourists that come over here that are spending obviously more cash than some of the other colored people. They're spending more cash than those that act like trash. And that's what's really going on in Waikiki. You got a whole lot that done jumped on those cheap fares to come over here, and they're coming from Texas, Florida, Oregon, California, and they're bringing their Trumpian ways with them, and they're not doing nothing more than not wearing their masks, and the police isn't, enforcing it enough because they're too busy shooting up people and trying to get low-level drug dealers when they need to be dealing with our health and our wealth. And how we deal with that is by being a safer state. Yes, we are the safest in the nation, but it's still not good enough to bring the type of tourists you want. Instead, you get those that hoop and holler, drunk and tear up stuff, and that's what you're getting. Now, what I really want to say is, Paul Brewbaker was right about, the type of money and investment that we need to concentrate on is to become more self-sustainable, self-reliable. There was a time in Hawaii where they had Georgia Pacific Company and we made our own toilet paper. Now there's a party city there. Do we really need that during Corona when we shouldn't be having groups more than 10? But yet and still they're getting together out there and creating spreads and creating variants that will make us have to get booster shots year after year to deal with this pandemic. Ugly. And he's right about it. We need to do all the above. And if you took the time, Hawaii, to dedicate yourself and try to realize, like I said in many of my other, in my other videos, to maybe build up and nurture that ADOS community that isn't going to act so wild, that's going to wear their mask more, that's going to spend more. You know? And I think from what we're hearing, we're just proving that point. This is what you get when you're under pandemic mandates and tier levels, and you're flaunting them and letting them loose. So the Galleria isn't open. DFS isn't open. The tourists you want aren't coming here. So you need to learn to deal with what you got. And I told you what you need to do, Honolulu. Focus on the right ones that are already coming. And take care and make sure the police keep the mask on the other ones. Now, if you agree with me, leave that comment below and let me know at FeministNewsN@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to that YouTube channel and that Facebook page. And remember, I'm that Soulful Progress 1 on Twitter. Got that rant of the day on Blogger. I'm no longer that one-woman team, but I want to say mahalo and thank you to the news crew. Yeah, I enjoy seeing those comments, and thanks a lot for all that you do. Make sure you check your likes because they're taking them away as quick as they can, even though the video views say otherwise, man. Now, and make sure you ring the bell too. Remember, in this era of hate, we're going to have to participate, because if we don't, it's going to be an ugly scene all over this place. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Peace. And remember, if you want to care to donate, I got that Venmo at Skye Soulful Progressive. Mahalo in advance. All right.
See the smile behind my mask. How long will it last? Stimulus going fast. Government won't act. How long will this be going on? I'm standing